Yeah, I guess we're oh well, now it's working. So crazy right now. I just did a whole BP thing right now, which I don't know. Some reason I got some funky connection out here, and I assume it was working live. I'm gonna do a little test here. Yep, we're going good now. Here's a new interesting thing I just want to share, and I don't get it. Now, you got so many hatervilles out there because obviously, if I'm tagging people or I'm tagging too many people, you can make a little complaint, which I guess people are already now, because I just got a thing saying that I can't tag people right now. I guess I'm under tag suspension. What's up, Manny? Thanks for coming on. So, what I'm going to do today is I'm going to tell you what I like to do when I take BP. When I have a Sunday, a free Sunday to take a good amount of time of BP, I have a structured thing to get the most possible swings. But besides the most possible swings, some of you guys out there, if you want to make your game better, you're going to have to come up with an approach, a BP regimen that helps increase your game. If you've been hitting BP for a while and you're not seeing a significant increase in your on-base percentage, how well you're hitting the ball or whatever, then maybe you need to make some adjustments. And that's why I'm going to do what I did today. I like to thank many people because many times, whether it's through Messenger or at tournaments, I love talking hitting. People ask me questions on what I like to do, how many swings I like to get, whatever. And so I said, hey, I'll go live. And some people would like them to go live. First thing and foremost, make sure you're hydrating. And that doesn't mean hydrated as you start. Hydrate first thing in that morning, maybe the night before start hydrating, especially if you know it's going to be a warm day. Staying hydrated allows you to stay limber. Staying hydrated makes sure you don't get cramps or tightened up, and you try to get that amount of swings you can. Okay. I do want to give a shout out to Sammy and Supreme making us some new California senior bats, and this new logo, this embroidery that comes up is off the chain. If you're out there in Manteca, go check out the Supreme because they're gonna be swinging California bats this year. So, as we go marching, I'm going to give you one of my little peas here, man. All right. Oh, boy. The kids. We got to show the kids. That's another thing that kind of gave me the idea to do this. Look at this batter's box here, right? Everyone see my batter's box? I guess some of you guys didn't play baseball or you guys had parents that did it for you. Okay, but you see the box here? The one thing that just ultimately drives me insane is after we hit BP, people just ignore the batter's box and they complain, the box sucks there or whatever. Well, hello. What you need to do, you should always just bring yourself some water. Once you're done with the day, well, here's a good example. We just had a lot of rain out here in Hollister. So before to catching it, because this is primarily the field I love to hit, I made sure to come out here and fill up the box with dirt. Why is that? Because all the rain that we just recently got just compacted the dirt, and as the sun, Mr. Sunshine Smile down here, it made this box a lot better than it used to be. Because if you're looking at this box right now, it hasn't always been this good. All right. So you young bucks and stuff, don't be lazy. Bring a gallon of water. Bring 32-ounce Aquafina thing of water. Just bring some water, and when you're done hitting, pack the box down to the best of your ability, stomp it down, put water on it, and let it dry up. And I'll guarantee that's really going to help your BP session. Because if you want to do well on BP, everything, sometimes mentally you don't feel comfortable in the box. Well, if you're not feeling comfortable in the box, you got to do some stuff. It ain't going to happen overnight. All right, where ones? All right, what's up? So another thing I also do, obviously I put my bats here. If I'm able to have a bucket or something, I usually like to keep them kind of close so it's quick, because I'm trying to get the most amount of swings. And getting the most amount of swings is being structured, it's being organized. If some of you have ever played, a higher level of baseball or anything, there's a lot of structure that goes into it. It's time management, time efficiency. If I got a good hour and 15 minutes out here, I want to get the most out of my swings. So another thing I do want to share, there's been times I hit BP and you see my net. If your partner hits the net, give them that ball. Some people don't even want to give those extra swings. The way I set the net, if I'm hitting the net, I look at it as an out. So I want to stay away from that net. Okay? If I can stay over here, it's going to go through. Another thing, as you can see, is what I'm doing is I'm creating a lane. And why am I creating a lane? First off, in BP, your BP pitcher is going to have an easier time throwing strikes if they have a straight lane to the plate, you know? If you're putting the net here because you don't want to get hit, then you have guys doing this, right? You don't get too many pitches from this angle. Plus, if you're not a regular pitcher, how often you're going to throw a lot of strikes? So what I like to do is create the lane. Another thing, if you can't see, and I think this is the biggest one that people get a little bit of fear from. And as I said, these are things I do just to make my BP sessions a lot better. Okay? If you can notice where I have the net. Okay, here the regular mound. The regular mound that we have, if you're pitching in a tournament, is right here. And I can't even reach the net. I would literally have to take 2 steps to hit the net. Okay. And the reason for that, some people may put the net right here, right in front of the rubber. To me, pitching, when I used to be a really great BP pitcher, and I used to be, you don't want to change your mechanics. So what I mean is if I'm throwing right here and I'm missing short a lot, it's really easier for me to take 1 step forward. Don't change my mechanics and just stay with that same rhythm. And then you're getting into that cookies. Where if you have the net here and I'm missing short, I'm not going with my fluid mechanics. So I'm actually starting to push more. So people are throwing faster, they're throwing deeper, and at times they're throwing flatter. So to me, set the net up in front, closer to the front, so you can make your adjustments. I'm missing short. I just keep the same mechanics. If you're pitching here, go back. Another thing with people, so you can see here when you're pitching, is I have that lane. And sometimes people want the net right here, so if you go straight up the middle, you're not getting hit. Well, check it out. Don't be a well one. I have my lane. I pitch the ball, and you should just do this. Okay? Once again, straight lane, pitch, go to your left. This is a 6-foot net. As long as I've ever pitched doing this method, I have never got hit with softball. I actually got hit with the softball with the jugs, the old blue ones. A ball hit right here. Corey Neiswanger at Concord hit it here, and it came in. And this is what I did because they had it so close. I went like this, and I went right here. He hit it just perfect here. It just spun it up and hit me right in the arm. Okay? So this is all you got to do. Pitch to your left. Create a lane. All right? Secondly, if your homeboy hits a ball into the net, give him that pitch again. All right? So next thing I like to show, if you're able to get, which helps me a lot, is having a ball handler. Put 20 in there. Not 100, not 500. And there's our wonderful soft balls. You could see the angle. You could see the net, the straight path, okay? For me, I like to get a good day of BP for me is getting 100 swings. But I don't hit 100 in 1 round or 50 in 2 rounds, literally 33 in 3 rounds. Where I like to stay is balls of 20. So I do 20, 20, 20, 20. Okay? If you ever play baseball or high level, you're not taking a bazillion swings in one session. And the reason you're not, because you can create bad habits. You know, when I played hardball, you get so much. And eventually when you're getting a lot more swings, your hands are getting lazy and you're dropping them. And next you know, you're doing this. You know, the kind of hitter I am, muscle memory, it's got to be mechanically sound. And part of mechanically sound is me finding amount of swings that work well for me. 5 rounds of 20, no problem. Because on average, a good tournament, you're going to get 20 to 25 swings, right? 20 is a good round, all right? So moving forward, if you notice, I'm going to show you here. I have cones. If you're looking to improve your game, if you want to go to that next level, there's my 3rd base cone, my 2nd base cone, my 5-man cone, or if you're all right side here where they stack you, 5-man cones, okay? If you're looking to become a stronger hitter, better hitter, find cones. You know, you could buy mine at Goodwill, $10, $2 a cone. I got lucky. But get yourself cones, put shoes out there, buckets, anything you put as a target. Because, you know, to me, desperation is when someone says just hit it, swing as hard as you want, swing out of your shoes. Your average hitter, not going to have the same output as somebody who puts in the work. You know, I could probably go out there and swing extra hard, but I've been hitting BP for 25 plus years, you know, with softballs. So I could probably swing a lot harder because I know the pitch location and what I need to do. But I'm just telling you, when you're setting up cones, when I hit, wherever the location of the pitch is, I know that I can go to 2 to 3 outlets, meaning a 5-6, a left center, or right center, or a left center, right center, 3-4 hole, or maybe a right side, right center, left center, depending where the pitch is. And it's all muscle memory, okay? Next time you hit BP, every pitch, just try to go right side, and you teach yourself how to get out. You know, if the pitch is inside, you're doing this, you're going to probably not be so successful. That's why you want to change people's swings, at least on the defensive side. My BP approach is, as I said, depending the location of the pitch, I am always looking to hit the ball most likely where it should be hit. Give myself 2 outlets. Sometimes I'll mix the cones with the 5-man's here, the 5-man's there. But that's what, to me, works for me. Hit the ball where it's pitched and get used to that muscle memory, opposed to just focusing one hole. I mean, you can try it and then get a look. If you have your cone set up, you're going to see how successful you are. The best thing to do is have visuals so you can see how successful you are. And if you're not seeing how successful you are, it may not be transpiring to your tournaments, and you may not be getting the the outcome you want. You know, if you're like hitting 550 and you want to try to get to 650 or whatever on a consistent level, sometimes things we don't look at is how we're setting up for BP, right? And that's why I'm doing this. I have cones, I have a good angle. Everything is just to, make sure I get the full maximum amount of swings. Next thing you do to save yourself swings, if you notice here, right there, when we hit BP, some guys, they like to keep the balls as far away out there. But the thing is, you're saving time. It's going to take you a lot longer time to carry softballs, roll them from a 275-foot fence. Here, work on your arm because you don't play a lot of catch. That's how myself, I kept my arm strong, is when I'm shagging softballs from wherever they are, I'm tossing them here, and then we're picking them up. Another softball perk of mine, which is whatever, it's not that bad, is when I see guys fungoing balls to the ball pile. Why? I can do that. I coach. I fungal pretty good, but I don't because I don't play catch. I want to keep my arm. I'm playing long toss, throwing the balls in. But secondly, when guys are hitting the balls back at the pile, what are they doing? They're spraying the balls out more. So besides throwing them closer, now we got to get balls further and back, and you're doing double the shagging. Maybe not quite the same off live pitching, but it's still double shagging. If you watch structured BP, you go to Major League Baseball, you go to college game, maybe even a decent high school game, there's going to be structure. They're always going to have a guy here with the net, someone behind her gathering the balls, because you want to, make the most out of your daylight. You want to maximize the amount of time you get during BP. Okay. So here's the field that you could see that we're at. Another reason why I'm just going to go here because it's cool. Another thing I do want to share is I love hitting at this field because it's only 275 feet. For me, a lot of times when I'm hitting BP, whether it's if I want to hit with my senior bats or my BP bat, a small fence like this has made me a better hitter because anybody can hit the ball over the fence here. I'm coming out here, I'm getting my work, going gap to gap, punching holes, slashing holes, hitting gaps, line drives, working on my game, and not hitting home runs. That's going to make you more valuable. I mean, it's good to have a guy who hits 400 feet. I'm not saying it's not, but you got to know yourself as a hitter. Have I topped the 400-foot mark? Yes. Consistently? So I got to know the kind of power I have, and I'm supposed to set up the big man. But I can go bazinga when I need to. And that's why I'm always working on slashing the ball around. If you know you're getting good contact and you know you're hitting the ball where it needs to be, it's going to show on how well you cut the ball. If you're topping the ball a lot, popping it up, slicing it a lot, or rolling it over to ground balls, then chances are then you're forcing the ball. Hitting is a science, and you want that third Newton's law to work in your way. When you're going inside out, forcing stuff, if it's outside and you're doing this to pull it, or some guys think when they have to pull it, they're doing this, you're dropping your hand. When you're stepping out in the bucket, your hands are always going to pull off. Good approach is staying shoulder tight and hit it through, which works with the tee. I mean, you can even set this up with the tee hitting, around here, which I think the next one I'll do is I've done it before, how I set a tee, and even show you the science, me putting a ball on the inside part of the plate and forcing that right side. Guys who like to go the right side, that is why if this is home plate, they are off the plate, because that inside pitch is still a ball. I can go to right center. That one on the middle part of the plate, outside middle, easier for me to hit that 3-4, that line drive to the right side. That's why in the box will always dictate an idea. I like to stand in the box where you can't tell if I'm going to go backside or pull the ball. I'm pretty much set up to go gap to gap. But I know, because I give myself 2 outlets, if I get that pitch to go left center, I know I can hit that same pitch down the third baseline if they're giving me that. But how do I know that? It's because when I hit BP, I ain't forcing it. I'm letting the muscle memory go to work, because it's pitch identification. Sometimes people have the mindset prior to their at-bat, their approach, I'm thinking this way. I always see, okay, I got my 5-6 open, I got my left center shot open, I got this hole open. Oh, the 3-4's open, so sometimes I might even get sneaky. And if I stand here, I'll come out of the box, and then I'll come just a little on the outside to be deceitful to the hitters or the defensive players, so they don't know if I'm off a little more or not. Because this game, you have guys who have it pretty strong between the ears, and they're going by what they see in the box. Sometimes they get in the hitter. I've told people, he likes to go backside, and then I see the guy step closer to the plate, and I go, hey, he changed his approach, he's closer to the plate. And I purposely want that guy to hear me, because then he's doing this. And I've done that. Hey, different spot of the box. Or I'll tell people, he's off, but every time the ball comes, he's stepping in, because he's trying to be deceitful. And that's the thinking man part of softball. Good hitters, most of the time I watch, they're not doing this. They're not doing this. And a lot of the great hitters watch them. They're not doing this, like the old days. Unless you played ASA, right? So we're out here at Vets Park. Another thing, like I said, I do want to share in about an hour or so, I'm going to be bringing out the Dennis Shrum bat out of the wrapper. The second batch, little Mexican bat out of the wrapper, and show you what kind of distance and how it works out. So if people are thinking, oh no, I don't know if I should get the second batch to me is not a little hotter, just has a slightly different feel, because we did modify it to the better part of it all. Okay. So for BP, I create a lane. I toss the balls for max efficiency. I do rounds where I don't hit home runs. You can see the cones, set up cones, because, if it's worth your time, it's worth doing right. Unless you're just doing it recreational just to get your cardio in, totally get it. I like to do that, but I'm also trying to get my work in, because I enjoy playing as much as possible. And I enjoy the game is so much more fun once you're experiencing a lot of success. And part of the success is I've had a BP regimen that I've always done. And if you've ever hit BP with me, like other people, I can get a little if they change what I got going, especially pitching, pitching, I don't need a guy throwing me knuckled all the time. I can hit knuckles just as fine. I don't need a 12-foot arc. I just tell a guy, put it somewhere with the plate, so I can just work on cutting the ball and hit it where it goes. And then in a game, I have a pretty good eye, because I do walk a lot. I'll make those adjustments. Hitting is getting on base, hitting the right pitch, hitting strikes. If you do not have a concept of the strike zone, learn it. Pay attention. Every now and then mix in some takes, because once you get an idea of the strike zone, your on base percentage is going to go up higher. And I learned that in my mid-20s when these upper guys, one guy was Steve Seeley, another guy named Lee from the Tribe, I remember Chris Alvarado, was telling me, goes, Leroy, you're becoming a much better hitter because you're starting to walk more. Those walks goes towards your on base, right? But I'm not hitting balls. I'm hitting strikes. And if you're hitting strikes, you're going to be a lot more successful. If you're hitting the ball where you need to go, I feel you're going to be a lot more successful. It's that muscle memory piece. Showing it again. There's my cones, the rubber, working on stuff. A big part of it, like I said, it's easier for your pitcher to throw a strike when he's got a straight lane, because it's a natural thing. So you could see my straight lane, right? I always put the net in front of the rubber, just in case if I have to make adjustment from throwing short, I could step closer, step back. Also, once again, I cannot stress the importance. Bring water to your BP sessions. And when you are done, find some nice dirt, fill up the holes, and then drown it with as much water. Well, no, pack it and then drown it with water. So at least it stays pretty good. Last thing people have asked me, and I'm going to show you. I have 4 of them, so I guess I don't really care. This is my BP bat. This bat's got about 4,000 swings. It's a piece of junk. Earlier this week, I was talking to my man, Dennis Schrum, and he was saying our bats, we're conserving them, etc. Our bats are lasting, but you got to find a BP bat similar to what lasts for you. And it's crazy because some guys on Facebook, when I inquire about these bats, they act like it's a great bat. First off, when this bat was out there, nobody really swung it. Nobody swings it now. So basically, it's a paperweight. But I like the bat because it does ideally have a similar feel to this bat. Same barrel size. They're both 20. I mean, look at that right there. Look how identical they are. I know during BP, people like to smash the ball. But for me, it's just getting swings. And if I'm cutting the ball good with this piece of junk here that's got 4,000 swings, I think what I'm going to do is my broken in senior bat. BP, yeah, you want to look good, but if you're actually really getting good BP and you're getting good working on cutting the ball, working gaps, working the holes and stuff, find a bat that is similar. I like the old Eastons because if anybody knows old Eastons from like 2000, from the black and gold Helmer, so before they released the Fireflex or actually the Avocado, their bats, they win for days. Anybody knows anything about Easton, they know for days. This is a great bat, whether it's this one, the Bryson Baker, the Wegman, the Helmer, any older Eastons. I'd say from the Synergies, the black and gold Helmers, which is the 2007 model, I believe, or 8 model, to the 2013-14 model. You're going to get great durability. You're going to get great work, and you're going to increase your game. Because if you're going to do it right. And if you're going to get better, why do you need to see how hot a bat you can swing? Get hitting with a not so hot bat, so you're being more fine with the swings, hitting those line drives, and hitting those holes. So I do want to share. I'm going to take a couple rounds, and then I'm going to take these guys out of the wrapper, and I'm going to do a live session out here, swinging the Dennis Schrum. And the second batch, Little Mexican. And as Dave Velasquez said, I'm going to give another reference. All right, see the taps, different caps, different tops. This is outward. Also to verify which is a first batch and a second batch. Same area of the bat. But the newer models have the date, and the first batch does not have that. Stressing it again, make sure you fill up your holes and drown it for BP. We'll be checking you guys out in a little while, maybe an hour or so. I'm just going to take a couple rounds to get loose, and then we're going to go big time. So enjoy your Sunday. Thanks for coming on. Any questions? Feel free to message me.